Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? First morning live, first full week of 2026. Everybody's back to work in their regular schedules. Except not me. This is my first day of being retired. How about that? Brent, good morning. Casey, good morning, buddy. How's it going? You ready to get back to the grind? Good morning, everybody. Hey, Brent, all the way from North Carolina. How's the weather there this morning? Is it cool? You know, it's been like springtime here for the last week. I think this morning they said it was going to be like 55 for the low. Not very warm. I mean, not very cold at all. I think next week they said we're going to have some cooler weather like this starting this weekend. Highs in the 40s. Well, that's not terrible. That's a little more like winter. It's not terrible. Good morning. Casey's down in Brownsville. Are you picking up a load or dropping a load down there, Casey? Phantom 2 just joined. Good morning. Yeah, so today is the first day that we are going live at 6 a.m. instead of 5:45. Hey, Daniel. Dropping off load at 9 a.m. Are you, Casey, are you on the end? Hey, Commando, Plant Lady, good morning. Casey, are you at the end of a run or the beginning? Hey, Ed, good morning. Morning, Ed. Just letting everybody kind of get their bearings, get their coffee. Since we didn't start till 6 a.m. this morning, that was kind of nice, an extra 15 minutes there. I'm going to have to kind of get used to the 6 a.m. deal, which is all right. Donovan just joined. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Casey's down in Brownsville unloading. It feels like a month. I know. It kind of does, but thank you for the fan club. I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like sometimes you need that break, though. And I mean, I was still making videos and stuff in between, but today is kind of a new day for me. Today is my first official day of retirement. Morning, God just joined. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, so now this is what I'm going to be doing for the at least for the near future. Morning, God, what's the temp up there? New Jersey way. Casey, it's you. Morning, God. You're in Las Vegas this morning? All right. We've got some friends that live in Pahrump, Nevada, not far, just out of Las Vegas. Yeah, I saw Ed made a couple of videos, and he reached his goal of 365 days straight of take a walk, take a picture. Man, that's got to have been like, whoo, the first day you didn't have to do, you didn't have to follow through on that. You could just kind of kick back. the background. Thanks, middleman. I appreciate that. Yes, I did. There's a whole story behind it. I had a whole set of cabinets that fell off the wall one Sunday, full of glass, paint. I mean, you name it. They were full. What a mess. Ripped out some pretty good size holes in the wall, so I had to patch those. It just looked bad, so I decided to put cedar on the wall there, and those are actually fence pickets that I cut down and put on the wall, and then put the signs and stuff up there. It turned out way better than I expected, because I just did a small section initially and it looked all right, but then I ended up finishing that whole side. And now my wife wants me to do the wall on the opposite side of the garage, so definitely going to do that. Hey, George, how you doing this morning? Thank you for the follow. Yeah, if you are new here, don't forget to like, share, follow. I'll do the same at the end of the live, providing you're not a bot. Good morning, Jessica, over here from Iowa on YouTube. You're back. Thank you for joining us this morning. Did my neighbors notice I was gone? I tell you, I was recording it. It was. Yeah, I mean, we all, it's kind of like when you end something like that, Ed, where you've done it for a whole year. It's kind of like, well, now what? Now what do I do? While you're in the middle of it, you have some days where you're like, wow, I just don't feel like doing this, but you do it anyway. And then when you finish doing it, you usually are glad you got it accomplished. So anyway, but congrats goes out to Ed. He did finish the goal he set for taking a walk and taking a picture for 365 days. If you haven't seen that final video, go check it out. It's on YouTube or here on TikTok. Make sure you like it and share it. And we've been trying to get it blown up. Over 10K. All right. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Cowcop Chris just joined. Good morning. Hey, Jessica, how was your New Year's? I hope it was good. Schmo 1211 just joined. Hey, buddy. Happy 2026. Glad to see you back. It's going to be a different year, a different type of year. Like I said, today's, I guess, officially my first day in retirement. And somebody already asked me this morning, they sent me a text wanting to know if I felt any different. And I don't think I feel any different other than, maybe a little relief. After a while of, when you've been told you've been let go, and Roadrunner, good morning. And then you have to keep going back to that same place every day for, 8 or 10 weeks. And, it's kind of like that countdown every day. Every time you show up, that you got a few more days until you're not going to be showing up there anymore. Roger, K3. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Let us know where you're from if it's your first time here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe over here on YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, today being the first day of retirement, I don't really feel any better. Or worse. I feel normal. My wife asked me if I was going to still get up early, and I told her yes, I was. I'm going to try to maintain. I want to. What do they always tell everybody when you retire? Don't retire to the couch, or you won't be around very long. You need to retire to doing something. And man, I'm going to tell you, I started the weekend off. I've spent the entire weekend trimming trees and hauling brush. So to sit here and do this first thing in the morning is pretty relaxing. Del Free, TTV, Mr. Gorilla 200 join, Mystery Inc. join, or driving by. Hey, if you're driving by, stop and roll down the window and say hey. So yeah, it's it's different. I don't know where we're going in 2026. Over the weekend, everybody saw that the United States had a little deal going on and captured the president and his wife from Venezuela, brought them back to the United States. So that, I don't know where that's going. I hope it's going in a positive direction. I have trees and brush to deal with today. Oh, Duffrey. So, everybody does it differently. I have a big, long pole saw that's got a chainsaw on the end of it. And man, that thing's a lifesaver. But you kind of got to be careful with those too, because if you extend them out all the way, and then they can, you just got to be careful with them. Mike, F245, morning, all the way from New Hampshire. Thank you for joining us. I don't think we've ever had anybody from New Hampshire join us. So thank you. Okay, yeah. So I have a couple of Bradford pear trees, and those are super fast growing trees. Of course, they weren't really my choice. It's what the builder put in 20 years ago when we built the house. But live oaks, yeah, there's a lot of pruning on those. A lot of people just don't prune their trees, and part of it is they don't have the tools to prune them. Other part of it is they're afraid if they cut anything off, they're going to kill the tree, and that's just not the case in most instances. But those Bradford pears have to be pruned fairly regular, otherwise because they're a softwood tree. And the limbs will get relatively heavy, and it only takes one high wind event, and it can be short term, and you could lose the whole tree like my neighbor did. He didn't prune his trees properly, and very little. And the first northern that came through this year, the wind got up about 40 miles an hour, took out a 40-foot tree. We're good neighbors, so I went over and helped him cut it all up. But by the time he cut both his trees down, both of them were damaged. Had to have the stumps ground and then replace the trees. It was to about $4,000 it cost him. So it's always good. But live oaks are pretty. As long as you take care of them and they do their thing and you keep them pruned. Biggest thing that you see about live oaks a lot of times is you'll see the grass die underneath them, and it's because they haven't been pruned properly, where the canopy's up high enough that it allows sun to get in underneath to the base of the tree, and you'll develop a fungus around it, and it kills all the grass. So then you got a big dirt pile underneath it. Or at least that's what happens to all the live oaks here if they're not pruned correctly. So you want to definitely raise the canopy on them so that sun can get underneath them, and it'll avoid all of that. Smo captured in Venezuela oil. Yeah. I haven't read enough about what's going on there. Oh man, you do have a lot. They hung to the ground. Lots of chainsaw and pruning. Yeah, buddy. And that live oak, some of those limbs, I guess if you stack it up, you can probably burn it if you have a fireplace or a use for it. Sometimes you can find people that'll actually haul it off, for firewood, but then you've done all the work. So Roger's from Wisconsin over here on YouTube. Okay, Roger, how about that? Thank you. We have another guy. and he goes by Wisconsin, but he's in that same part of the country. So, what do y'all think about? What do y'all think about? I mean, we don't usually talk about politics, and maybe this is not really considered politics. Maybe it is. It's kind of just kind of current events. Hey, Donna, have a great day at work. Thank you for joining us this morning. Donna's so sweet. What do y'all think about that? About them? I mean, I think Madera's he's a bad guy, and I do think that he's definitely had a lot to do with the drug smuggling coming into the United States. But I mean, I was kind of surprised about that. I mean, maybe we shouldn't have been. Maybe we don't really know all the details, and maybe we never will. But apparently they're going to try him in a U.S. court for drug charges. You're right, Dofrey. That live oak, that's some hard wood. But you get it dried out and it makes some good firewood. Morning, God. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've done it before, Chris. Yes, warrant served. That's good. I mean, I want to tell you, I think Madera is a bad guy. And, unfortunately, I don't know that, people start asking the question about, we got problems here in the U.S. and now we're going to go to another country and tell them that we're going to run their country until we get them back. Yeah, you're right, Panama. You're correct. And get them on the straight and narrow. And I've heard people here in the U.S. always like this, how they show people complaining about it and trying to tell you, oh, it was wrong. You shouldn't have ever done it. And what they failed to do is they failed to interview anybody whose home country is Venezuela that had to flee to the U.S. to protect their family members. And I mean, I just was reading about this, that Florida has the largest population of people from Venezuela who came to the United States to protect their family because there was, such bad things going on over there. And, if you didn't agree with him, you'd just end up taking a dirt nap. Good morning, Kim. How you doing? Gail Ann. Hey, everyone. Gail Ann is new here, I bet. And if you are, Gail, let me know where you're from. And thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Nikki Cox, 520. There are two sides to different perceptions. I know. I agree with you, Nikki. We do have a lot of sides. And, the bad side about politics is just you never really know the full truth because we're just not on the inside and we don't know why they make some of the decisions they make. But on the same hand, I've said for years and years that some of these third world countries, their economies are so bad, their people are, struggling with jobs and being able to support themselves, and corruption in the government. And it's like, the United States can't take everybody, but the United States can't be the police for everybody either. So these countries got to learn to, try to do something for themselves to improve where they live in their country, just like we have to do ours. Yeah. So yeah, I still probably think it was the right thing to do. I think I know there's a lot of Venezuelans here in the U.S. that are, I've talked to a few. We had a few where I worked and that were from Venezuela, and their families. Some of their families were still there. Some of their family was in the U.S. And they talked about how their kids, they didn't think would ever be able, that their children were born in Venezuela, then they fled to the United States, how their children would never be able to see their home country again as long as he was in power. So if him being out of power, and the United States hopefully will be able to get a democratic process in place where the people can vote for the next president, and they don't have a dictatorship over there running drugs and killing people. And I mean, that country's rich in oil but poor in jobs, and surely didn't treat their people very well. So I'd like to see that get much better. Yeah, seems like it, doesn't it, Shmo? So just let everybody know, Gillian over here on YouTube, who's joined us for the first time, thank you, is from Green River, Wyoming. Wow. I've never been to Wyoming, Gillian, but it's definitely on my bucket list. I'd like to go to that state at least once in my lifetime before I'm too old. I don't need. Yeah. You're right, Nikki. It does. So, so here we go. To lighten the mood just a little bit. Here's what I would like everybody to do. Don't love green. Don't love green. Oh, you grew up in Gillette, Wyoming. Hey, Mike, how's it going? I like that, Mike Taylor. Mike Taylor. I like that. So to kind of lighten up, everybody get your fingers ready. So if you're on TikTok, it's 6:25. Everybody wake up. Get your finger ready. We'll do a little finger exercise up and down, left and right. If you can, tap on that screen. Make sure that you share, like, subscribe. All of those things are free, and all of those things help the channel and help me personally. So if you don't mind doing that, I'd appreciate it. Everybody who follows on TikTok gets followed back, providing you're not a bot. Same thing on YouTube. If you're a creator and you have a page where you create videos or something, let me know and I'll go check it out, and we can share it. We can share it with the group and hopefully gain you some views. If not, I'm just tickled to death that you're here, and that's fine too. So real quick, this super easy question. Everybody put down in the comments, what kind of coffee do you drink? And I'll start with me. I drink Starbucks, Pike's Place. Does anybody else drink that coffee? Or tell me what your drink of choice is first thing in the morning. Mine's coffee. And I don't know, is Starbucks Pike's Place? Okay, Delfrey drinks Folgers dark roast out of a can. Delfrey, is that canned coffee, or it may be plastic now? Oh my God! Okay, great value, Walmart, pretty good. Okay, Ed likes Dunkin' Donuts. I remember him telling me he likes Dunkin' Donuts. It's in a plastic container now. Okay. When my dad was alive, he would just about drink. I don't think there was a coffee. If it was black and hot, he drank it. It didn't really matter what the brand was. He wasn't picky at all. And I was in the coffee business for probably, I don't know, close to 20 years. And so I got used to drinking some really good high-end coffees, which now, I mean, the Starbucks Pike's Place, I I don't consider a high-end coffee, but it is a good quality coffee. Local stores kind of know me, really not, so that's good. I got Boogie in Cali and do Keurig flavored peppermint mocha. Okay, peppermint mocha. Okay, let's see what we got over here. Instant, because I'm cheap. I like that. Kim drinks Folgers. Gillian drinks Starbucks. Vanilla coffee, 4-pack. Okay. So Gillian, is that like an iced coffee? My daughter and granddaughters drink iced coffee. They don't like hot coffee. The Piggly Wiggly. All right. Or Piggly Wiggly reminds me of when I was a kid. Still comes in a metal can. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go Free 8. Remind me where you're from again. Does anybody use a percolator? I remember those too. French press. I actually have a French press. Yes, I do. I tell you, you can get spoilt on some of these high quality coffees. I used to drink, there's Kona from Hawaii, which I think is just, some people really love that kind of coffee. I just, I'm so on it. When the coffee business really expanded and you started hearing a lot more about Arabica beans versus Robusta beans and the things that I learned as a buyer and, of course, as my own business too, in the coffee business. Robusta beans, Folgers, I don't know if they've changed their blend or not, but, initially that all their canned coffee were a Robusta bean, which is just a lower quality coffee bean. And we used to always call, in the coffee business, canned coffees called floor sweet because it's compared to some of the higher end coffees, it's the quality's much less. And anyway, so yeah, you can get spoilt to that real quick. USA damn grandpa. So USA Damus. Thanks for joining us on TikTok. If it's your first time here, let me know where you're from. We have a great Black Dog coffee. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of independent coffee shops now, besides, that are, I guess, kind of like a Starbucks, but I'm not a huge Starbucks fan. I don't go to Starbucks and buy coffee. But here's the plus side to Starbucks. It's kind of like McDonald's. If you go to a Starbucks coffee in Washington State or Illinois or New Hampshire or Wyoming, and you ask for Pike's Place coffee, they all have it. And it's the same coffee. And so you can get the coffee you like pretty consistently across the U.S. However, there's here in Pflugerville too. There's we have a couple. We have 3 or 4 Starbucks, but in the area. But there's a local coffee brewer here too, and their coffee, whatever their house coffee is, and I'm not sure exactly what the coffee is, but it's very good, and their prices are a little more reasonable. And the guy's got like a couple of locations. But he holds his own with all the rest of them because, and even his cold drinks, I've been told. Again, I'm not a coffee drinker, but his cold drinks, I've been told, are really good quality, and there's always a line around the building. So, yay for him. Hometown Brew LLC. Huh? Yeah. Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. Okay. BO12 said, hey, what's up? Gail Lamb, my brother was in the Navy during Vietnam. I was stationed in Hawaii. Love Kona coffee. Yeah. I tell you, a good coffee too is like a Brazilian. Any of the coffee that's grown down in South America is usually, Costa Rican Terrazzo. Uh, we used to drink a Brazil Bourbon Santos, which is, all of those are kind of a medium, and you can get them in a medium dark roast, which is, and that's the thing that just a little history on Starbucks. When they first started roasting coffee, their claim to fame was that their coffee was always really strong. But here was the downside, and it took them a while to figure it out. That initially, when Starbucks came on the scene in the market, all of their coffee were brewed into what they call air pots, which is just a thermos, is all it is, and not kept on constant heat like, the if you go in a lot of places still, they'll brew coffee into a glass pot. It sits on a warmer to keep it hot. Starbucks coffee didn't brew like that. It brewed into a kind of, what they called it, an air pot. It's basically just a thermos that you close the lid on. It had a pump on it so they could pump coffee out of it. And they did that for a reason. And the reason they did that is because they roasted their coffee so dark that it was right on the verge of tasting burnt. And that's where, in the coffee business, everybody called them Star Burnt and not Starbucks. They finally kind of figured it out, and they figured it out with this coffee, Pike's Place. And they backed off on how dark they roasted their coffee. And from a super dark, oily bean that you would see to a dark roast, but, they just didn't roast it as long, so it doesn't have that burnt taste to it anymore. And once they did that, Pike's Place is probably their number one selling coffee across the United States. Little story about Starbucks. Yeah. BO12 said, hey, thank you. Yes, Kimberly, today is my first day of retirement for now. I'm hoping everything works out, and I don't have to go back into the job market now. I mean, wasn't my first choice, but hey, as long as you can pay the bills, and who wouldn't want to not work and still be able to maintain their lifestyle? Yeah, you're right, though, Free. Heat definitely wrecks a good cup of coffee. Oh, show. Okay, let's see. What else? Did I have I wanted to talk about? We talked about Madero and all those fun things. We talked about the weather. We've had a cup of coffee, let everybody know this is my first day of retirement. And so I've got lots and lots. I'm 3.5 years retired now. So let me ask you, so I see Dough Free, they say that they're retired, and not to separate the women from the men, but just as a question, and anybody can chime in on it, men and women. When you retired, did you feel like that there was some? For me, it's been kind of ups and downs, because I didn't get to pick when I retired. I had a date when I wanted to retire, but because of a company reorg, I was laid off, and January the 2nd was my last day. And so, I have a little mixed emotions there. I'm irritated at the company for, letting me go after lots of hard work over the years. And I think that's somewhat initially a natural reaction, but just moving into retirement and not working has been a bit of a transition for me. And I'm not 100% sure, because what do they always say? The unknown is what's the most scary. So tell me, Delfrey, were you able to pick your date that you went into retirement, or did something like what happened to me, you in company reorg, you were forced into retirement? Maybe that's the thing. I feel like I was forced into retirement and I didn't get to do it the way I wanted to, which, I mean, that's life. Stuff happens like that all the time. Yeah, it's funny. It's like from the time you're really young. I mean, I started working when I was like 11. And I've worked all my life, at least one job, and a lot of times multiple jobs. And so, you kind of develop that, I got to get up and go to work and make a buck. And then, when it gets to this part of your life, and you want to retire. And I think part of that too is my wife had a 5-year plan 5 years ago. She worked for the school district for nearly 40 years. And when um, she retired, the whole year leading up to her retirement, I mean, I think she was really fortunate, who she worked for, who her boss was. But I mean, everything was positive, and they worked that whole year towards her retirement. And she was ready to retire 5 years earlier than that, but stuck it out for financial reasons. And I just saw all the positive things that happened during that year, moving her towards retirement. So that's one way to go. And to me, I mean, her boss, like I said, and the group of people she worked with they were phenomenal. And she went out and she just, fell into it. No big deal. Me, I'm sitting outside of a hospital. Let me read something here real quick. And got a phone call letting me know that my services were no longer needed. So a little different for me. So and I haven't said who I work for, but I lost a lot of respect for him that day. So two vultures, and man, yeah. Sorry to hear that, Free. That would definitely take it out of you. Yeah, so that's the thing for me is when I say, hey, when you retire, don't retire to the couch. Go find something to do. I'm not one that sits on the couch. I have to have something to do. And so, luckily, and I think God's kind of led me to this and continues to lead me. But, when the unknown is the most scary. You just don't know where all this is going. I'm a few months out from being able to draw my full Social Security, which I am going to do. And I mean, I have so many things to be thankful for. I had guys that worked for me that also lost their jobs, and and they can't fall back on Social Security. They're not quite that age yet. Most of them were 50, early 50s, and I know what it's like to start over at 50 because it happened to me. And yeah, so It's real workplace really hard to keep busy. I have so many projects to do, which I think are going to keep me busy for a while. And I feel very fortunate that I had a severance package that will continue to pay me for about 6 months. So that 6 months kind of gives me a little transition time to get from point A to point B. Um, so I mean, it's not all bad news. I mean, uh, I think that's a definite plus. And I'm not saying, on one hand, I think, wow, you're fixing to be 67 years old. You probably should retire while you still are somewhat healthy and can still get out and do things. And you hear that all the time. People are like, hey, well, don't work all your life. And then you hear other people say, oh no, you should keep working because it keeps you active, keeps you thinking. It's good for you to work. So, there's two sides of that coin. Some people say, no, retire early, go do all the things you want to do. And then other people say, no, 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 don't retire. My God, if you want to keep on kicking in this world, you got to work. So, I mean, everybody has a different opinion. I don't know, but I'm finding out. Um, and like I said, it's always the unknown that's the most scary. Once you kind of get it figured out, I think it'll all work out. But yeah, so there you go. Well, that's true. Yeah, I'm 66 and I'll be 67 in September. And so, you know, that's maybe that's a good time. My plan is to retire from full time ministry in 9 years. Okay, so see, Ed, you're kind of like I was. I always said I wanted to work. My dad worked till he was 75. I felt like with what I did and the job I had in technology wasn't super physical, and my health is good, which thank God for that. But I also know that when you get to our age, your health can be good today and in the toilet tomorrow. So, like you said, the next day is not promised. Um, but anyway, so there you are. There's where I'm at, and I was going to work. I planned on working till 70, and of course, the company provides a company. They don't go find you a job, but they kind of help you with your resume and want to tell you how to rewrite it. And I'm just not really sure I want to do that anymore. I hate to say that. I just don't know if that's what I want to do anymore. The company said instead of you retiring, you're going to lay you off because we have to get rid of 3 drivers. I told them I don't care what you do. I'm going to be here on Monday. Robin, wow. Yeah, good vibes. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube too. I appreciate this. Listen to me rant. Yeah, I think retirement's different. I think everybody, they start questioning what's their purpose, and unprecedented feeling at first. Yeah. And you're right, though, Free. That's exactly what I have. I can tell you, Eggy, go and join. Hey, I can tell you that I've had times where I'm pretty short tempered, and that's not normally my personality. I'm pretty easygoing, and then I have days where I'm really excited about. Oh my God, I'm going to get to. I don't have to get up and do this or that. I can get some of these projects I've wanted to do done. I've got time to do it, whereas in the past I haven't. And like I said, no, the next day is not promised, and so maybe this is a good thing. Maybe maybe everybody should retire at 65. I don't know. I don't have the answer. And apparently there's a lot of other people that don't have the answer. But it's funny that you don't hear so much women having to really transition into retirement. They seem like it's a lot smoother for them. But men, I mean, hell, go out on YouTube. There's videos everywhere about men telling you about transitioning from, working every day to retirement. And a lot of it's, finances too. But I don't think it's just finances with me. It's a purpose. Um, and it's part of your identity. It's what you do. Just my opinion. Not that, you lose your identity, but, there's people that I've worked with for a long time and, I'm realistic that their careers are going to go on. They may relocate, and you may or may not stay in touch with them, but more than likely you won't over time. Initially you will, but long term probably not. So you have that loss of people you worked with for a while. Yeah, you're right, Chris. I agree 300%. I started to let go. Rains. Wow. Yeah, that's tough. Like I said, I think most men go through some kind of a transition there. And I know my dad, of course, he worked for the federal government in law enforcement. And when he first worked for him, the retirement age was 55. And then he came right up to that 55 and was fixed to retire. And they extended it to age 57. So he stayed a couple more years, but he did end up retiring at age 57. But he wasn't retired 6 months before he went back to work in law enforcement. And he did that for a few more years. And then he got into the insurance business where I think he made a lot more money, and there was some travel involved. So he and my stepmother were able to do some traveling, and they worked about 6 months out of the year. He was they called it a storm jumper. He was an independent insurance adjuster, and they worked like Katrina and major disasters. And so he did that for 10 years until he was 75. And then they changed the software and he said, that's it, I'm retiring. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll find my way. It might be doing social media full time. I'm just not sure. I like doing social media. But it's not as easy to make money doing social media as a lot of people think. So even though I can't say that doing social media has been bad for me, because it hasn't. It's just always been a side gig and not my full-time deal. Yeah. Yeah. I can tell you, I got a couple of bad knees, and there's definitely things that, as you age, you slowly but surely realize, you can't do that. And one of the main things that I've realized is I can't get down on my knees on the ground, or I might not be able to get up. Um, as long as I'm standing, I'm fine. But sometimes the other way, but you got to get the heart right. Yeah. Yeah. I have been doing a little more exercise, but I told the doctor last time I went, he said, yeah, you're fat, your blood pressure's up, your cholesterol's up, you got to do something. So, I've lost about 60 pounds, and so that's a good thing. And that also helped my knees, too. But, bone on bone is bone on bone, and eventually I will have to have at least one knee replaced, if not both. But but you need to, so I've been walking. And so the one thing, and I picked this up from Ed. I don't know if Ed normally did this, but I figure if Ed can go for a walk every day for 365 days, I can too. Now I hadn't started that yet. I do walk, but just not every day. But that's kind of on my bucket list I probably won't walk every day, but I'm going to walk a lot of days. And, anyway, so yeah. And I can tell you that, and I'm not hiding anything. Ed, even lost some weight while he was, doing all that walking, and looks pretty good. I should say too. I've watched some of the older videos before, his weight loss, and yeah, he looks healthy. So that walking definitely, and I'm sure it's not just walking, it's controlling what we eat too. So from the bed to the garage doesn't count. You're right. Oh God, that doesn't. Well, I mean, the good thing around us, we have some parks that you can walk in. And so I'll do that. Walk around the neighborhood. Big Red, U.S. Army just joined. Good morning. How you doing? Hara RNC. Now, does it look like I'm selling drugs here? Really? Come on. Only so Robin Wickoff 3406 over here on YouTube says that she's only had 3 jobs in her life. 3 years in a grocery store, 20 years in the military, and 26 years as a truck driver. Yeah, that's unusual I had 7 different jobs, I think, the first year I was married, trying to find my way. I was young, though. I was 18, so. And when I say 7 different jobs, I had a main job. I just had a lot of part-time jobs. Take my cap off. Okay. I don't have any hair up there. Sure don't. I wear caps every day. And so if you're new here, the reason I wear caps, one, I'm bald, and the light shines off of it. And I've been told it can be blinding at times. But so I wear a cap. That's part of it. The other part of it is in Texas, it's hot as hell. Sun's out, and you definitely don't want to get the top of your head sunburned. It's extremely painful, and it's a quick place to develop skin cancer. So that's why I wear a hat a lot. Big Red, U.S. Army's only had 2 jobs. You're on YouTube. Dofer, yes, I am on YouTube. So initially, I started social media back in 2019. And I started on YouTube, and that's, I've only been on TikTok. Matter of fact, it was really funny that my wife and I were laying in bed last night before we went to sleep, and she's got her phone and looking at it. And she said, you've been on TikTok since 2022? And I was like, really? And she said, yeah. I was like, well, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but I guess it had. Because she had something on her Facebook, like a memory or something. And so, yeah. But I mean, really, I want to tell you, TikTok, I've really been on it consistently, probably over the last year. But I want to tell you, until I started going live, this is how I use TikTok. I would create videos for my YouTube page. And then, everybody tells you in social media, hey, you need to get your videos out. So you want to share them to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, TikTok, and, just X and this and that. And so, you're trying to grow a channel. So you kind of do what you think you need to do. And that's how I started posting stuff on TikTok, was because I'd done it on YouTube, and I broke the videos down, long form videos into short form videos, and put them on TikTok. Well, over the months, as TikTok got really more popular, and kind of maybe after we figured out that it wasn't going to be kicked to the curb and that it was still going to be available, I began to post a few more things on TikTok. And of course, it took me a while because TikTok's changed their format somewhat as far as making it easier to post. There's still some things that are kind of squirrely about how they do stuff, but there's some really good things about how they do stuff. A squirrely example, I did a video being an affiliate marketer on a cap, and I did 2 caps back to back, two different videos, 2 different caps. Within, I don't know, 30 minutes, I get this pop-up on my phone. TikTok has taken down my videos. Initially, what they did was remove the affiliate links so that I couldn't sell the caps. And then they accused me of misleading the price, even though in the video at the last shot, I showed a screenshot of the checkout page and what the price really was, which is exactly how I advertised it. Now, was that price wrong? I don't know. I'm not the vendor. Was it a super cheap price? Yep. One of the caps ended up being a penny and free shipping, and the other one was $8, which for some reason that their AI thought that was misleading, so they took the links down. Now, they don't let you defend yourself. They do what they do, and then you have to fight with them. But the problem is you're not presenting your case to a live person. You're arguing with AI, and you'll never win. So it doesn't matter what proof you put in there, what you say to TikTok, they're going to do what they're going to do. So after I definitely appealed both of those and showed my proof, nothing. They don't send anything back. 2 hours later, they take the videos down because they say I'm promoting Texaco. You ready? Check this out. YouTube. So YouTube, I'm gonna move the phone. You see that sign on the wall, that old sign over there that says that's a Texaco sign? You see that? If you saw that, would you think that Texaco was my brand partner? Here, I'll turn the camera for TikTok. There it is. You see that Texaco sign? Would you think that Texaco was my brand partner because that sign's on the wall behind me? Oh, with all the others that are there? I mean, is that stupid? Yet they took both those videos down and I lost. So you ever get in that situation, you're not going to win. Kind of frustrating. And apparently I've seen it by other creators there too. Yeah. Mobile. I would like for Texaco, Mobile, Ford. I'd like for all of those people to be paying me. Does Texaco still exist? You know, now that you say that, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to research that. I'm not sure Texaco does still exist. Good question. It doesn't. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's just, that was kind of dumb. And so that kind of stuff really gets my goat sometimes. Exactly, Ed. Perfect. This, yeah. It's crazy. Hey, Eric. MAGA. Freeland Doug found you. Hey, Freeland, how's it going, buddy? Hey, Eric, yeah, if you don't like what we're talking about, I guess you can always move on. Sorry. It's not, I'm not for everybody, I guess. uh, what? I don't. Freeland Doug. Oh, well, don't free. Oh, you're on YouTube. So you tricked me there, Dofree. That's funny. Sorry. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't respond to stuff, but sometimes, what? Oh, that's funny. Anyway, so there you go. Yeah, and yes, I am on YouTube, and I actually am streaming it live on YouTube, as you well know. And the reason I do that is because YouTube actually records the full live. Sounds like an old version. Yeah. Lord Scone, good morning. Chilly winter so far. I'm feeling good. Yeah, it's not cold here at all. They said this weekend might get back down into the 40s. Supposed to have some type of a cold front. Tejas Luxury Wheels. Hey man, what's up? Okay, so I did want to try this morning. Let me 20. So if you remember, I don't know, a week or two ago, I said I wanted to try something new. I wanted to do like name that tune with some music, and so today I mean, we're not going to do a bunch of them, but you're going to get tested. I want to know if you can hear the song, and we'll see how it works. So let me see here. So just so everybody knows, I'm using Spotify, and I created a playlist. And I'm going to do something really easy. You ready? Is everybody ready? Let me know in the comment section. Ready? Supposed to be 70s. Holy moly, it's going to be 70 something in South Carolina. I think they said it was going to be like 75 here today for the high. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to play a song, and you have to tell me the name of the person or the band that played it. Okay? All right, is everybody ready? Here we go. Okay, were you able to hear that? If so, tell me who sang that song. Everybody's thinking. I figured y'all were going to get that one right away. I didn't think that was a hard one. No? Yes? Could you hear the song? Freeland. Freeland Doug, you are absolutely correct. That is the name of the song, My Girl. Good job. So that means you were able to hear it. Yes, My Girl. Okay. Yeah. So nobody knows who. So does anybody know who sang that song, My Girl? You get double points if you can name the song and who sang it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it was the Temptations. The Temptations. I actually saw them live here in Austin. Man, they put on one heck of a show. Used to hear that at weddings all the time. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So here's the next one. You ready? So you gotta get. Okay, let's everybody get a cup. I wasn't sure how this was going to work, and I had to. Two things I had to do. One, I had to put together a playlist, and I'm still going to add. Oh. And I'm still going to add some more songs. So here's what I want y'all to do too. If there's a song that you like or that you think I should add to my playlist, put it in the comments or send me a message to my email address or message me whichever way you feel comfortable, and I'll add your song to the playlist. And then, you know, as we go through the playlist, it'll eventually get played. Okay, so here's the next song, and you need to tell me the name of the song, and or if you can name it and tell me who sang it, you get double points. So far, Freeland Doug is in the lead. I wonder if you two will flag it. You know, I don't think so because I'm not. Somebody asked me that too. I hope they don't, because I'm only playing just a few seconds of it. I'm not going to play the whole song. So here we go. Here we go. You ready? I feel tears welling up, going deep inside, like my heart's gonna be free. There you go. Who sang that one, and what was the name of the song? Dan Lover and Golf Mommies. Dugan 17. Hey, buddy, welcome back. Yep. Kimberly over here on YouTube was the first to guess the artist. Anybody else know? Racist something. I don't know. Sounds like one. Okay, so the artist is George Jones. George Jones. And the name of the song is The Race Is On. See, when I was picking some of these, I thought, man, these are going to be like really difficult to, you know, for people to get. Okay, so here's a more modern one you may or may not know. You ready? Everybody ready? Jim 1980. Hey, how's it going, Jim? Playing a little Name That Tune. So let's see if you know this one. One more night, one more down, one more. All right. Tell me the name of the song and the artist. It says, sounds like Marty Robbins. Kind of. This is a newer Got Nothing. Moshi joined, good morning. Newer than what I listen to. Okay. Our Heart just joined. Okay. All right. So it is called Drinking Problem by Midland. And they're a somewhat newer band. So now I'm gonna play I'm gonna play one that's an older let's see here. Okay, here's one from the 70s. Are you ready? Everybody ready? Here's one from the 70s.
I am a lineman for the count.
All right, there you go. Tell me who the artist and the name of the song. There you go. Chris nailed it. And Kim did too. That is absolutely correct. Glenn Campbell, Wichita lineman. One of his hits for sure. So I'm going to go back just a little bit. I think this one was probably still in the early 70s. So let's play this one real quick. You ready? Everybody ready? Here we go.
I can't stop this feeling.
Tell me the name of the song and the artist. And you're right, Chris. He was a phenomenal guitarist. Heather just joined. Hey, Heather, how's it going? I knew Kim over here, my buddy on YouTube. She's probably a real music lover, and I knew she would probably pick up on most of these. I got hooked. Don't worry, you're close. You're close. That's so it's Hooked on a Feeling by B.J. Thomas. Hooked on a Feeling by B.J. Thomas. All right. I'm going to go way back and see if you know this one. Everybody ready? Here we go.
Hello, baby. Yeah, this.
Now that ought to be an easy one. Y'all probably know that one right off the bat. Who sang that song and what was the name of it? Brian, how's it going? Now, Chris, you were really close. It's not Jerry Lee, but it is Chantilly Lace, and it was the Big Bopper. The Big Bopper. It's what's up, Brian? Hey, Brian, we're playing a little Name That Tune, just messing around here, seeing who knows what. Okay, here's the next one. Tell me the name of that song and who the artist was. It's actually two artists in that song. Bonnie, hey, thank you for joining, Bonnie. Good morning. Brian, you're correct. Partially, Willie Nelson is on that song, but not the Highwayman. Chris got it. It's Poncho and Lefty by Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard. On the Road Again. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, a lot of people initially, recognize Willie's voice. I mean, he's got such a unique voice that it's nuts. Oh, let me see. Okay, so okay, so we'll play here. Here's the next one. You ready? Here we go.
Georgia.
Lord Scone, hey man, what's going on? All right. Name the name of the song and who is singing it. Who's the artist? Eggy, good morning. Jerome Gathers just joined. Hey, Jerome, what's up? Playing a little Name That Tune. Yes, sir. Chris is dead on. Georgia on My Mind by Ray Charles. Yep. You did good there, Chris. There we go. Let's see here. All right, here's the next one. All right, this was going to probably be a little more difficult. Name that song and the artist. Art Life, hey, how's it going? Gail, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Catsag72, good morning. Thanks for joining. Hey, if you're new here, let me know where you're from. Don't forget to like, share, and follow so that I can do the same. Thanks for the rose there, Brian. Appreciate it. Ed, you too. Ed, Brian. If you want to join the fan club, send me that little heart emoji, and it automatically adds you to the fan club. Brian, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, buddy. You're right, Kim. The song was What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. However, that particular one was sang by Jimmy Ruffin. Do you remember him? He was part of, I can't remember, either the Four Tops or the Temptations. I'm not sure which one, just off the top of my head. But yeah, it's pretty good, I'd say. So, all right, let's see here. All right, here's a quick one. Y'all will probably all get this one really quick. Here we go. Name that song and who the artist was. Chris. Chris, you nailed it, buddy. That's exactly who it is. Anybody on YouTube? Come on, Kim. Who was that? I'm surprised Kim didn't get that. She's I think a music Zen Life with Kelly. Hey Zen, or hey Kelly. Ellen just joined. Good morning, Ellen. How are you doing? So, since this is the first time we did this, let me know. I mean, y'all like playing Name That Tune or not so much, or what do you think? Yeah, Brian says he knows a lot of songs, but not the singers. You know, that's me too. A lot of times I recognize the song. So my wife is, I mean, she can tell you who it is, the song. She is a huge music lover of all genres. She likes lots of different kind. You know, it's funny. I joined this lady's live, and she actually started following me last night, and I think she was new to lives and she was asking me tons of questions about how do I do this, how do I do that. So I had to tell her, hey, just send me an email with all your questions, and so I could maybe give her some pointers. You're right, Xavier. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. Xavier, where are you from? Let us know where you're from. It looks like it's maybe your first time here. Yeah, so you know, I kind of like. I thought this might be a. I was just looking. Here we go. We're gonna play one last song here for today, and then we'll do this again. Here we go. Let's see if you can recognize this one and who sang it.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away.
Tell me the name of the song and who sang that. Chris says, nope, I don't know that one. Kim, anybody on YouTube? Did you recognize that song? Can y'all hear the music good? I hadn't heard anybody say yes, no. Brian he didn't recognize the song either. Okay, I'll tell everybody. It's called Can hear it fine. Good. Free, there you go, buddy. Bill Withers, you are absolutely correct. Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. Spoon just joined. Hey, thank you for joining. That's funny. Okay, every time I say, okay, well, that's it. I'm going to play this this one here, and you can tell me who you think this is.
So you only check it twice? Huh. Nissan tests every model thousands of times. We've been testing for severe.
Sorry, that's an ad that popped in. I didn't think it would do that, but obviously it did.
Weather. No wonder Nissan.
Well, I guess that means that's the end of Name That Tune, because it's not going to play another song till it plays the ad, and I don't want you all to have to listen to the ad. So, you know, y'all tell me too. I'm always trying to think of new ideas and something new to, you know, do while we're sitting around drinking coffee, talking about the day. Of course, we're always going to talk about current events, and you know, that's the intro of my new song. It is a car. Yeah. Yes, Chris, it was to buy a Nissan. That's right. I think it was their truck ad or something. That's funny. It's like, I got that one. That was a Nissan ad. Bye, baby. You can leave the door open. Yeah, actually, you can leave the door open to the shop because it's not cold at all. It's kind of cloudy and gloomy outside today. Anyway, yeah. So there's name that tune. I'm gonna just kind of add that in on and off. If you have a song that you want added to that list, send me a message with the name of the song you want added, or multiple songs added. Because what I want to do is create this super long playlist, or I might have a different playlist. I thought about breaking it down like, okay, we'll have pop and some country, but then 25 here. Brian's got 25. Well, Brian, send me a list, buddy. You can always email it to me at daveshop2@gmail.com. Here, I'll type it in for you if you're really interested. Boom, 25 degrees. Okay, yeah. And anybody can, that's one of my emails, and if you have any suggestions on what you want to do on the live, something you want to talk about on the live, please feel free to send me whatever. Jaden just joined. Hey, Jaden, how's it going? And we moved this not starting until 6, and in the past, when I had a real 8 to 5 I had to go to every day, I always had to cut it off by somewhere around 7 o'clock. But now that's not the case because I am retired, and I could sit here all day if I wanted to. I'm not going to, because I have a truckload of a brush that I have to take to the recycling center, which is nothing more than a big field where the city lets you take your brush, then they shred it all up into mulch and sell it to some company that comes and picks it up, which is a good thing. I think they use it in the parks too, but a lot of it is sold. Got it. Cow Cop's got to go do the chores, get on the phone, call some folks. So Chris is still working. Thank goodness he is. Chris, thank you for joining. Thank you for being a supporter. I appreciate you. User 755 just joined. So if you do have to jump off and go to work, I fully understand. But I don't, because I'm retired. And I don't mean to rub it in your face, but I am retired, just so in case you didn't know, I am retired. And so, yeah, I guess this is one of the benefits, maybe. We'll see. What else? I'll be doing a question of the day later today, and another thing that I tried to see, it's called This or That, and it's another, me asking questions and you giving me the answers. I always like that. I like to ask the questions and get answers. I learn a lot about people and what they like, they don't like. A lot of times when I ask questions, it gets people to share. Yeah, okay. All right. I just got I'll definitely check that and see if I can find that. I'm getting Dairy farm, Brian. Yeah, you know, I lived on a dairy farm when I was a kid. My dad. I was young. I was like maybe 4 or 5 when we lived on the dairy farm over in Bryan, Texas, east of here. Stop. So stop. What? You're not. You're not hard, buddy. I always like it when a bot jumps on because they start talking. You're like, what? Oh, let's see here. There we go. Got rid of that one. I have no idea. It's a bot, though, free. Yeah. It's all right, though, free. I blocked them and report them. So it's like I said, it's a bot. Hopefully that stopped that. Didn't grow up on a dairy farm, but started working at 13 or more. Still going, can't get away. So, Brian, are you up around? Are you in Texas, or I didn't? I'm sorry, I didn't remember. The reason I ask is because there's a lot of dairy farms up around Stephenville. When I was in the coffee business, that was an area of Texas that I traveled quite a bit, and there were a lot of dairy farms up there. And there's dairy farms. You know, there was a family when I was a kid in here in Central Texas. Here in Pflugerville, or between Pflugerville and Austin at the time, there was a family dairy farm. I never worked there, but I mean, that dairy farm was there forever and a day. And, you know, since with all the development stuff, that dairy farm's no longer a working farm. But I was surprised how long they stayed in business, because they were basically just engulfed by the city of Austin. And I'm guessing that, you know, the parents probably passed away, and the kids ended up selling the property because it was so valuable. But anyway, yeah, a lot of good memories on the dairy farms. A lot of hard work on the dairy farm, I can tell you that. JLB Kid, hey, what's up? Thank you for joining me over here on YouTube. Appreciate you. Upstate New York. Okay. You know, I think a lot of people miss, you know, they think when you say New York, a lot of people think of New York City, Manhattan, you know, the island. But my dad, when he was in the insurance business, he spent some time in New York State, and a lot of New York State is rural. It's farms, even though people don't associate New York and cattle or dairy farms or anything like that. Yeah, there you go. Well, you know, and Brian, that's what CalCop, what he does is, hang on just a second, I might have to close up. I had to close the shop door. Looks like we got a landscaper outside. He thought it was time to use the blower, which those can be kind of noisy. 4 hours away from a city. Yeah, anyway, CalCop works for Southwest, what's it called? Texas Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. And that they've been around since the 1800s. And what he does is he's a law enforcement officer. He retired from the Department of Public Safety here, DPS officer in Texas, but he now works for them. And you know what they do, or where there's only, I think they only have 30 or 35 peace officers that actually work for them, and they have jurisdiction in Texas and Oklahoma. One of the few, if not only, law enforcement agencies that have jurisdiction in 2 different states at the same time. And not being a federal peace officer. But anyway, he works, like livestock theft and of course equipment too. But interesting job. And like I said, they came about in the 1800s to protect Texas cattle and Oklahoma. As they were driving them to market from rustlers. So, yeah, kind of a unique association. Go free. We're rural here, and where I live is 45. Okay, 45 minutes from any chain stores. That's definitely living out in the country. I flew over New York once and was surprised how much of it's rural. Yeah, I've never been to New York. I've never been to a lot of places, but New York is I've never been. I've been to Florida a couple of times. As far as the East Coast, that's probably the only state that I've been to on the East Coast. I would. I'd like to travel. I'd like to go up to New York and some other places, and travel some. Maybe I'll get to do some of that in retirement. We'll see. You never know. Let's see what else. So one of the other things that I do is I do tool reviews. What does that say? Rabbit Lady. Hey, girl, how's it going? Upstate New York, Amish country too. Mm-hmm. I have a glider, like a porch swing, but it's a glider that was handmade by an Amish group here in Texas. Very good quality. I've had it for 20 years. That's how well it's made, and it's still in good shape. And we're a bit old school here. We raise our own meat and vegetables around the home. That's definitely old school. A lot of people don't get that in this day and time. I grew up on a ranch too, but as of course my dad sold all that off, but as you get older, you kind of got to go where the work is, and unfortunately, where we lived, there was no work. And my dad got transferred to Central Texas with the federal government. So, being a kid, I had to move where my parents brought us. And when I first moved here back in the early 70s, even Austin wasn't a big city like it is now. It's in 30, 40 years, it's changed a ton. And all the little cities that we lived in around the area have changed a ton too. lots and lots of growth in this part of Texas. I mean, I tell people that have lived here 10 years, I was like, oh no, let me tell you about this. And they're like, what? Like a major toll road that's not far from us used to be a farm to market road. And we used to dove hunt and haul hay. And I mean, it was all rural. And now it's turned into been taken over and expanded like a big city, and all of these smaller towns that were around Austin are just, they've Austin's expanded, but the population has expanded, and these small cities have just exploded, and so they're not small country towns anymore. I agree. You can't beat beef that's you've raised yourself. A lot of people they never get that because they only experience is going to a grocery store. In a town that I grew up in, there was about 300 people, and everybody had to go to. There was only one store, and had a little meat counter in it, and the guy that owned the store was also a butcher. So yeah, you just go up to the meat counter and order what you wanted. Pigs and chickens for meat. Yeah. Yeah, my wife's grandfather, he he raised a lot of pigs and chickens. He didn't have any cattle, just pigs and chickens. But yeah. Randy just joined. Hey, Randy, how's it going? So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of wrap this up for today. I've got something else I need to go do. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Thank you for joining. If you have any ideas or anything that you want to talk about, we do Q&A, and we'll do a little trivia. Everybody likes to play trivia, where I ask trivia questions. And I'm working on some different stuff. We'll do Name That Tune again. I love cattle. They're definitely something else. Yeah, I agree. So when I was a kid, we never had what I called a cattle ranch. I think the most cattle we ever ran was maybe 25, 30 head. But I mean, it was enough. We had mama cows, and we had a bull. My dad would never let us get really close to the calves because, he would, that's how we made money. He raised them to a point and then load them up and take them to the sale, or, have one slaughtered, or, I don't think as a kid we realized that much. I mean, I think our parents probably told us, but when you don't actually slaughter them right there on site, my dad always just took it up, and we took it to the sale barn, and if they didn't get sold, well, they had a processing plant there where we could take it to a processor, and they actually did all that. 22 beef, and dairy is 100 cow dairy. Wow. So you're milking 100 cows a day, twice a day? Is it twice? It's twice a day, isn't it? Morning and evening. Delfrey has a few cows and pigs. That's good. Yeah. 64 cows 2 times a day. That's a lot of milking. Lots. So Brian, is it just you? Can you milk 64 cows twice a day by yourself, or you have help? You and some other family member, and I know they have. Oh, so you can do 64 all by yourself, Brian, with technology, milking machines and stuff. That's still a lot of work. That's still lots of work. Hour and a half. Well, that's quicker than I thought. But you're probably pretty handy at it. It's probably one of those things that when you do it all the time, you get really good at it, and you know what to do. Tie, stall, and pipeline. Okay. All right. Good deal. Well, that's interesting. Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate you joining the live today, and not just joining, but participating, because I always say that everybody that joins the live, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a live. What is it? Just read Texaco is still in business and it's owned by Chevron. Okay. So, yeah, Kim was letting us know over here on YouTube that Texaco is officially still in business, but it's owned by Chevron now. So it's part of Chevron. How about that? Hey, I want to tell everybody thank you for joining today. It's 7:50, and I'm going live in a couple of weeks, boiling maple syrup. All right, maple syrup. So do you actually, Brian, go out and where you tap the tree for the syrup? You do? Okay. So is it like like a area where you have a bunch of maple trees and you go and tap them and then collect the syrup from them? Andreas just joined. Hey, Andreas, how you doing? That's great. All over the place. All right. And how big's your farm? How many acres? Tap them and then haul it to the house to boil it. 120 acres. That's a pretty good sized farm. That's a pretty good sized farm. Okay, everybody. Well, 7:52. What else was I going to do? All hill ground. Okay. That's phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. I've got someplace I need to be in about 8 minutes. I want to thank everybody for joining. Hey, go out and do something kind today. Make sure you follow each other. If you gave me a follow during the live, I'm going to go check out your stuff and follow you back, providing you're not a bot. The same thing on YouTube. I can't tell you, everybody, thank you for joining this morning. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. For morning coffee talk. So hopefully you'll join us again tomorrow and we'll have a cup of coffee and get the day started off right. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. Keep coming back. Spread the word. Bring your friends, family. No enemies, but just your friends and family. Thank you very much. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.